What's going on, everybody? Doc from Average Gamer, guys. Finally back. It's been a crazy time, but we're finally back. We're jumping into some PUBG. I know a little bit late on this video, but I've had the chance, and hopefully you guys all have as well, to play the new test server for the Miramar map that PUBG has been running for the last couple days. It's going to run through the rest of this weekend, so you actually have some time to pick it up, play, and they actually extended it a couple days as well. So you've got a little bit of time, couple days to hop into it and to check it out. I want to talk through the map itself, some of the optimizations, the most recent patch notes, and just give some general impressions about where I think PUBG on Xbox is going. So we're going to jump into it. We'll have some gameplay of the new map in the background. I will say up front, I've really enjoyed the map. I jumped into it, downloaded the test server, finally got it running. They had some issues with the test server at first, which is actually very fine. I know people were frustrated. I was a little frustrated at first just because I wanted to jump into it and play it. It was down like the first day or so that they had it up. But once they got it running, that's the whole point of a test server, is to be able to do that, find the issues, fix them, and take care of that stuff. And I've been very impressed with the map. I think there's a lot of stuff that they've done that's just made it feel really good. Again, so I've gotten really used to playing first person on the actual game. You can only play third person in Miramar, but honestly, the couple of things that this game has really needed, in my opinion, has been frame rate and hit detection. Those two things, as well as just everybody kind of syncing and the game loading up, I think they did a really good job with Miramar. I'm super excited. I don't know if that has anything specifically to do with the map. I think it might be less load on the game itself just because there's less trees. There's obviously still a lot of visual stuff that they have to do, and the increased range that you can see people at is really neat. The map itself, I think, plays really nice, especially if you're one of those people that feels pretty decent at gunplay. This map, because it's so wide open, makes your longer range, medium to long range gunplay super important, because that's a good portion of the fights that you'll at least get into. Although they may not finish there, you'll get into them. So I really like the map. I know there was a lot of people on both sides, especially in the PC community, that weren't big fans of it. I think because it was such a drastic change from the first map that they released, but I'm super excited for this to come to Xbox. Speaking of which, so they're running this test server now. They hope to have this map loaded in and into the actual game sometime in May. So hopefully you get a chance again over the next couple days to play it and go check it out for yourself. You get a couple of the new weapons. You get the sawed-off shotgun, you get the Win, and you get the new revolver. All seem pretty cool. I think the sawed-off shotgun's a neat idea just for the sole fact that it equips to your pistol slot. So it's kind of a, lets you set yourself up and kind of create your own kind of mini class a little bit different, especially if you're not a big fan. I know a lot of people don't even pick up a pistol most of the time. So I thought that was kind of interesting. The Winchester and the revolver are pretty neat. I do like the Winchester, although I don't know that the damage is optimized the right way. But overall, just neat to play with it. We get a couple new vehicles. So just get into and play the map. Like I said, download the test server. It's about a 10 gig download that you need to run, and then the test server is running pretty much all day over the next couple of days. So hop into it and check it out. Like I said, hit detection and the frame rate feel really good on this map. It seems like they've optimized it. It seems like they've put the time in. Not that they didn't with the other map, but it seems like they really put the time in to make sure that this map runs well on Xbox. And I'm really hoping these test servers obviously help them figure out any bugs or really continue to optimize this. I really hope moving forward, when they bring this map in, they do some more of the optimization stuff. I mean, they've been very transparent about what their top priorities in the game are. And the game is making sure that it's optimized and it runs well for Xbox. And that's something that we've seen. I mean, I've pretty much played this just about since the beginning it came out. And it's progressively gotten better. And I think this is another step forward. Me and Sloth were kind of talking about this too. The nice thing that this map would bring is some variance. Playing the same map over and over again. Yeah, you get to learn some strategy. Yeah, you can definitely find the spots that you like. But having the ability, even with two maps, to kind of flip-flop back and forth is gonna bring a little bit of new life to the game, at least for me. I've really enjoyed it. I've had a lot of fun, especially as the game continues to get better and better, to the point where it becomes more about your skill rather than fighting against the game and whatever inadequacies it has, whether it be the frame rate or hit detection or anything else like that. I know they're still working through and kind of tweaking vehicle damage and all that kind of stuff. I definitely think they need to, but so far we keep seeing the progression, and that's all we can really hope, especially considering this game is still in the beta phase, if you will. So I'm really excited, like I said, to see this map get in, really be excited to hear what you guys think about the map and just about the test server in general. Like I said, I think it's a great idea. They do it on their PC for any changes that are coming up for the game, and it's nice because it doesn't affect your stats. So if you're one of those people that wants to jump in and test the stuff out, but you care about your kill death ratio or your win ratio or whatever the case may be, these test servers don't apply any of those stats. So you can kind of have some free range, test some stuff out, and go through that. So I'm like I said, pretty excited to get this map in. Hopefully it will come sometime mid-May, although they really haven't said much about that. They just said sometime in May. I'm assuming they'll take a couple weeks post the test servers to actually, again, really optimize the stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. I kind of want to also shift gears just a little bit, but talk about where I think PUBG is going. So I've been kind of following a little bit of it on the PC as well, and they just released huge patch notes. If you're a PC PUBG player, you've got a lot of crazy stuff coming. They've got a test server, I think, running right now, and just a ton of stuff to do in the future. They're talking about adding new weapons. They've changed how the SRs, they've changed like category classes. They're adding in new grips. They're adding in just a bunch of different attachments. I've really liked where that was going. They've also done some optimization, not some optimization, but some tweaking rather, of the SMGs and the assault rifles. One thing that I've seen a lot of the community talking about is how really your loadout always consisted of an assault rifle, especially like an M4 being one of the most powerful weapons in the game because it's great medium, short, and long range distances. And they've tweaked that. They've tweaked that the recoil and certain statistics on it make some of the assault rifles a little bit harder to use at range. They've introduced a new weapon class, which includes the SLR and the I think the SKS and the Mini. They call them DMRs. You can now share attachments between some of those things. They've reorganized that, and the whole point of it, I think, is to kind of develop it so that you have to choose the right weapon or set yourself up with the right set of weapons for different situations. So now instead of just always having an M4, for instance, because it can handle every range, they kind of want you now to set it up so that maybe you find yourself a DMR and a submachine gun, for instance. So you've got something that's decent, your mid to long ranges, and then you've got something that's decent for your close range fights. And I think that's really interesting from the team to set that up, because it's going to vary up what people are used and what options are viable in different situations. When you have one or two or a single weapon class that's just great at all ranges, that's what people are going to go to. That way they know they've always got something for a situation. With this setup and some of the tweaks that I'm seeing that they're making, it seems like they're going that route. I hope we get to that point on Xbox. I obviously would love to see some of the new weapons. I think that's something that just would keep people interested in the game. It'll definitely keep me interested because I want to test that kind of stuff out and like to use them. But I also like those adjustments come in Xbox sooner rather than later, because you see a very similar meta in the Xbox. For me, I'm always looking for that M4. I'm always going to try to pick it up. It's my preferred weapon just because I understand the recoil on it, and it's got great mid and long range. And then my second weapon, varies based on what I can pick up. Usually an UMP or an SKS is probably my two preferred weapons there. So, like I said, I kind of hope that's where Xbox goes sooner rather than later, and hopefully the PC community gives some good feedback. But hopefully it works well for them. And I just like the thought process through the team, because they're obviously at a bigger scale. PUBG's trying to get to that point where they can be an esport. They want to make it so that 4-man teams, they can host the tournaments, you can have some variants, you can have some people that are good with those different styles of weapons, and creating some variants between the different classes of weapons I think is really, really important. So hopefully all that stuff on PC runs really well. I'll be very interested to see over the next week or so how that stuff goes, and then once it's obviously implemented, and see some people play some tournaments with it. Like I said, I'm really excited for the future of this game. I'm excited for the Xbox version to just get better. I want it to continue to get optimized, hit detection, frame rate, all that stuff. Let's get it to the point where the game feels like it runs smooth. And honestly, Miramar and the test servers are very close to that. There's definitely still some issues. There's still some problems. There's still some load-in issues with the map and certain things like that. But if they can optimize that stuff and keep kind of the frame rate and the hit detection and all those kinds of things that are working right now for that map, bring them over to the other map and make that the game continue to run even more smooth, I think I personally will continue to play it, but I will really be interested in continuing to play it for a long period of time. And like I said, bringing in some new weapons and doing some stuff like that I think is really good, and continue to tweak it, continue to make it so that there is that variance, so that the weapons feel specific kind of to certain situations, and you don't have just the one class of weapons that's great at everything. And I think that's one thing that they're focusing on, and they need to for the longevity of the game. Obviously, there's a third map that PC has that I do want to get my hands on, but I would be happy just with Miramar and them taking the right time and steps to make sure that stuff is brought in and makes sense for the game. So that being said, that's just some initial thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you're still enjoying PUBG, and if you've had the chance to play Miramar and get in on test servers, like I said, you've got a couple days left. So if you haven't, you're watching this video, go download it and test it out. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, for me, I personally feel that it just runs better. It just runs better. I've had a lot of success. The games are a lot of fun, and I think the map itself is fun to play. Just because I like the ability to have that longer sight range. I think that's really interesting. You get yourself into different situations and different strategy when you have to fight over a longer distance and there's not a lot of cover. So really do let me know what you think. I know me and Sloth have been enjoying it, and Sloth is ever the skeptic. So if he's enjoying it, I know it's probably pretty good. So I've been Doc from Average Gamer, guys. As always, thank you guys so very much for watching. Appreciate the support to the channel. Stay tuned. We're going to try to again get back to what we used to do, be a little bit more consistent with our content, and we'll try to stick close to this game because this is a game I really have a lot of interest in. So as always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.